Since the mid to late 2010s, a bunch of Mascot horror games started coming out that absolutely blew up on YouTube. You got Baldi's Basics, Bendy and the Ink Machine, Poppy Playtime, fucking Hello Neighbor.
This is a replica of Andy's room from Toy Story.
The game I want to talk about in this video is one I absolutely love, and one that's probably been almost completely forgotten since its release. That game being Tattletale. Tattletale is a game about a kid opening their Christmas present early, finding out they got a Tattletale, which is essentially just a Furby, and then getting hunted by the Tattletale's mother. There's multiple different Tattletales that you can find throughout the game, 5 to be exact, not including Mama Tattletale. 3 you can interact with the normal purple Tattletale, the yellow Tattletale named Butternut, and the blue one named Dewdrop. And 2 you can find in their boxes, the black Tattletale named Night Night, and a white Tattletale named Snow Globe. I really like the personalities of the characters. Tattletale has such a perfect blend of being an annoying little shit and adorable. It really mixes well together. I'll delve more into Mama Tattletale later. The game is set at the protagonist's house, which is a small map, yet it really takes advantage of that to make the mechanics work more efficiently. The game starts on December 20th, 1998, 5 days before Christmas. The first night acts kinda like a tutorial for you to get used to the game's main mechanic, taking care of Tattletale. Around the house are the fridge, brush, and charger. All are necessary to keeping Tattletale's needs up. At the top left of the screen there's 3 bars which correspond to these items. These needs play a part in Mama's mechanic, but also, God, Tattletale does not shut up when you don't take care of him.
Give me a treat!
The second night has you finding Tattletale in the fucking washing machine of all places, but come on, who could stay mad at him? You end up breaking a vase, and it teaches you the mechanic of shaking the flashlight to light it up. Then you can see a pair of 2 red eyes watching you from a distance that quickly disappears and you can end the night. On the third night you wake up to a strange grinding noise from the basement. From a trail of eggs you're introduced to Mama, in which you insert a tape into her and it plays a creepy audio narrated by her about finding her children. When you go back upstairs you find Tattletale made a mess. What a surprise! So you take him back downstairs to Mama, but she isn't there. You put him away and go back upstairs, and then you have your first real encounter with Mama. Her mechanic is so cool in my opinion. She teleports near the player and is sensitive to any sound, like running or Tattletale screaming his goddamn head off. You need to keep your flashlight on, but don't aim it directly at her or else she'll deactivate it and kill you. And I really need to talk about this, but her theme is so awesome. I think it's one of the best and most intense horror themes in Mascot horror. In the fourth night you find Tattletale alongside Butternut, which you have to play hide and seek with him for 3 rounds, and in between seeking you have to deal with Mama until a specific time has been reached, that time increasing with each round. Once you find Butternut for the 3rd time you can find a tape on the ground next to him. You then take it to your room and play it, which you can find the dead bodies of Waygetter employees through it. This tape will become more important later. The 5th and final night is probably the craziest. You have to help Tattletale start a ritual to banish Mama. What? You gather Tattletale's friends and supplies for the ritual, and it commences. Eventually Mama interrupts and steals all the candles. Then you have to look around the basement, breaking vases to find the missing candles. Once you find them and start back up the ritual, you destroy the tape and banish Mama. Christmas Day you wake up bright and early to find your Tattletale gift under the tree. And when you open it, Mama kills you? Yeah, this is actually the bad ending. To get the good ending, you need to go around and collect all 22 eggs that are scattered across the game. Then once you've done that, you open up the gift under the tree, and it's Tattletale. You also get a golden flashlight that you can use while replaying the game, and it actually has a longer life before you need to shake it again. One other thing that stands out is Tattletale's tag, which I'll get into in a little bit. The game ends with you going to your parents' room and thanking them. Then the credits roll and that's it. Right? Actually not, because if you go back into the tape and use the numbers on Tattletale's tag, you can actually type codes that unlock secret camera shots, which I'll go over. The code 2259 will unlock a shot of a door that says Prototype 04. The code 9918530 will show Mama Tattletale next to a control panel. And finally, the code 4175860420 will show a room full of Mama Tattletales. A few months after the game's release, the creator updated the game with the new Kaleidoscope DLC. The DLC shows the player character on Christmas, and you open Tattletale again. But this time things are different. You do get Tattletale, but he's not the same. He's colored darker and his eyes are green. Also, his personality is way more boring. Then you find a package at the front door from a mysterious writer telling the protagonist that they need to try and remember what happened the night before Christmas. You progress through the game backwards, but things are different. Mama is acting nice, and the events aren't the same as they were. You go back until the night you open Tattletale, where the writer tells you that something has tampered with your memories, and that you need to enter the Kaleidoscope in order for Tattletale to return back to normal. Once you enter the Kaleidoscope, it's like this weird, messed up version of the house. When you make it down to the bottom of the Kaleidoscope, you find a cassette tape. That cassette tape shows an alternate version of the tape from the main game. Once you watch the tape, it fixes your memory and you go back to the night you open Tattletale. Once you open the gift, everything's back to normal. You go through the night like normal, and then when you wrap him back up, he stops to tell you a joke.
Knock, knock. Orange.
Orange, you protect someone!
You continue back at the Kaleidoscope where Mama is now hunting you and you have to escape. Once you make it back out, it's Christmas Day, and you unwrap Tattletale, and he's back to normal. The game ends as Tattletale says one final joke.
Knock, knock. Me. Me love you.
Nowadays, you don't really hear much about Tattletale. The only thing we've gotten recently is that early this year they launched the Tattletale U-Tooth plush out of nowhere. Maybe this could possibly hint at Tattletale's return? I guess we'll have to wait and see. That's all for now. I'll see you guys in the next video.